بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من البوابة الليبية للتعليم الإلكتروني نقدم لكم مادة اللغة الإنجليزية للسنة الثالثة ثانوي قسم العلمي من إعداد معلمتكم سرور الكرزاب. English for Secondary 3 Scientific Section presented by سرور الكرزاب. Instructions: Sit in a quiet place. Bring your course book and workbook. Don't open camera and mic. If you want to speak, raise your hand. Don't leave the lecture before it's finished. And be on time. Unit 1, Health Matters. Lesson 2, At the Hospital. Lesson's objectives: read and understand a conversation. Practice a dialogue about health problems. Practice and revise past simple and past continuous. Use the conjunction and, when, as, and while. In this lesson, we are going to read, understand, and practice a dialogue about health problems and how to explain your problem to a doctor and contact with other people in a hospital. And we have 2 points, 2 grammar points: practice and revise the form of past simple and past continuous, and how to use these conjunctions with these 2 tenses. Conjunction لأن أدوات الربط and, when, as, and while. And now open your course book on page 10. Lesson 2, At the Hospital. Section A, work with a partner, discuss what is happening in each picture, then read the text and guess the missing words. You can describe picture 1. Here is a boy and his father, and they are in a hospital. It's the name of the hospital, Al-Yarmouk Hospital, accident and emergency. The boy has a problem in his wrist, and his father is carrying a skating shoes, هو حذاء التزلج. So from this picture you can guess that the boy hurt his wrist while he was skating. In picture 2 and 3, he's talking, or the boy is talking to the nurse. In picture 4 and 5, the boy is talking or describing his problem to the doctor. In picture 6, here's the doctor shows the boy his x-ray, and from the x-ray you can notice that he has fractured, or his wrist is fractured. In picture 7 and 8, the doctor is going to put a plaster on his wrist, and he has to keep it on for 6 weeks. Now let us read the dialogue. Adel: I've hurt my wrist. Nurse: Sit down, please. I need to take your details. The doctor will see you very soon, Adel. Doctor: How did you do it? Adel: I was ice skating and I fell over. Do you think it's broken? Doctor: Probably not, but you need to have an x-ray to make sure. Adel: Is it broken? Doctor: I'm afraid so. It's fractured here. I'm going to put your wrist in plaster. Adel: How long will I have to keep it on? Doctor: 6 weeks. Grammar and functions. We are going to revise past simple and past continuous. You can open your course book on page 90 or pay attention with me. Here we have form of past simple. In affirmative form or positive form جملة المثبتة infinitive plus ed. Here's the example. Subject he الفاعل verb plus ed. Work plus ed worked. He worked late last night. In a negative form didn't. You have to put not after the auxiliary verb did and the main verb should be in the infinitive form. والفعل الرئيسي حيكون في المصدر because we have did. Okay. Didn't plus infinitive. They didn't go to the pharmacy. Didn't go. In a question form, and here we have yes no question, start with the auxiliary verb did. Did plus subject plus the infinitive form of the verb. As in the negative and in a question also, the main verb should be in the infinitive because we have did. Did you sleep well? The use of past simple. Use the past simple to talk about finished actions or situations in the past. Finished actions يعني حدث happened in the past وانتهى. The form of past continuous. Affirmative form or positive form was or were plus verb plus ing. Was or were according to the subject حسب الفاعل. I, he, she, it حياخدن was. We, you, they, were plus verb plus ing. At 8 o'clock, an example, at 8 o'clock I was having dinner. I was having dinner. Negative form, you have to put not after the auxiliary verb was or were. Wasn't or weren't plus verb plus ing. For example, she wasn't watching the film, so I turned off the television. Wasn't watching. In a question form, and here we have yes no question, start with the auxiliary verb was or were plus subject plus verb plus ing. So you have to change the order from the statement to the question by start with the auxiliary then the subject. Were you studying when I called? Were you studying? Start with the auxiliary, then subject, then verb in the present participle form or ing form. The use of past continuous. Use the past continuous to talk about an action that was taking place at a specific time in the past or was interrupted by another action. So, you can use past continuous to talk about action that take place in a specific time in the past. يعني يا إما خديه وقت محدد وقت معين في الماضي أو قطع بحدث آخر. Here we have another examples explains the uses of both past simple and past continuous. A. I had dinner with Amir last night. Finished action. I had dinner with Amir last night. So having a dinner happened last night. So the tense should be past simple. Had. B. At 7 o'clock last night I was doing homework. At 7 o'clock. Specific time at 7 o'clock. in the past last night اللي هي الليلة الماضية. I was doing past continuous was doing action that was taking place at a specific time. Next one. They drove to the hospital immediately. Finished action. They drove. They drove. Subject they. Verb in the past form. It's an irregular verb. Past of drive. فعل شاذ. ماضي drive. Drove. The last one. I was driving to the hospital when my mobile phone rang. Action that was interrupted by another action. We have a longer action with past continuous was driving to the hospital. هو يقود إلى المستشفى. Was driving. This is a longer action with past continuous. Was plus verb plus ing. Interrupted by the second one. حدث ثاني في نفس الجملة. قطع الحدث الأول. My mobile phone rang. And this action should be with a past simple in a past simple tense. And these two tenses should be connected by the conjunction when. This point we will explain it in more details. Okay, go to the workbook page 6. Lesson 2 at the hospital, describing instances in the past. Instances, events, or actions in the past. Using while, as, and when to talk about past actions. Okay, we'll use these conjunctions, while, as, and when, to join two actions in the past. Point number 1, we can use the past continuous and the past simple in the same sentence to show that one action happened in the middle of another action. So we have a sentence contains two clauses, one with the past continuous and the second one with the past simple. The past simple action happened in the middle of the past continuous action or interrupted the past continuous action. We use the past continuous for the longer action and the past simple for the shorter action. So the longer action will be in the past continuous tense and the interrupted action or the action which happened suddenly in the middle of the first action should be in the past simple tense. For example, here I was riding my bicycle and I fell over. So this is the longer action, riding a bicycle, and this is the shorter one, which happened suddenly in the middle of the first action or interrupted the first action. Okay. Point number 2, we often use while and as with the past continuous tense. Okay, here we have the conjunctions while and as. So when we have two clauses in one sentence, you have to join them using conjunctions, أدوات الربط, while and as. While and as should be followed by past continuous tense. For example, while I was eating breakfast, a bird flew into the kitchen. While, it means بينما أو عندما, duration of time, or as also the same meaning. I was eating after while and as directly the past continuous tense. While I was eating breakfast, a bird flew. Here the second action which happened in the middle of the first one and should be in the past simple, and after while should be a past continuous. Also, the second example with as I was eating breakfast, a bird flew into the kitchen. This is the longer action start with the past continuous, and this is the second action which happened in the middle of the first one. So we notice that while and as are the same as twins should be followed by past continuous. The third point, we often use when and or and with the past simple tense. So the two clauses, we will join them with when and or and. When and, these are conjunctions, should be followed by past simple tense. I was eating breakfast when a bird flew into the kitchen. Or I was eating breakfast and a bird flew into the kitchen. Here is the longer action with the past continuous, and this is the shorter one in the past simple. And we have the conjunction when and used to combine these or join these two clauses in one sentence. So we notice that when and are twins also should be followed by past simple tense. Here we will describe the position of conjunction, مكان وضع أدوات الربط. If we have two sentences, one with the past simple, for example, my mobile phone rang, and another with the past continuous, which proper conjunction that you have to put between these two clauses? While or as. Why? Because the second clause with the past continuous, and as you have studied, while and as should be followed directly by past continuous. And if we have two clauses, one with the past continuous and the second one with the past simple, for example, I was driving to the hospital, my mobile phone rang, and there is no space between these two clauses. So you have to put the conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, while I was driving to the hospital, my mobile phone rang, and you have to put a comma between two clauses. Also, as past continuous and past simple clauses, for example, I was driving to the hospital, my mobile phone rang, you have to put as, and you have to put a comma between the two clauses. Here, if we put the conjunction between the two sentences, you have to put full stop and no need to use a comma. And if we start with the conjunction, you have to put a comma between the two clauses. While and as should be followed directly by past continuous. Here we have the position of when or and as a conjunction. If we have two clauses, one with the past continuous and the second one with the past simple, for example, I was driving to the hospital, my mobile phone rang. The proper conjunction is when or and. As you have studied that when or and should be followed by past simple tense. If we have a sentence contains two actions or two clauses, one with the past continuous and another with the past simple, when or and should be followed directly with past simple. If we have two clauses with past simple and past continuous, for example, my mobile phone rang, I was driving to the hospital, and there is no space between the two clauses. You have to start with the conjunction when. When my mobile phone rang, I was driving to the hospital, and you have to put a comma between the two clauses. Okay, so if you put the conjunction between the two clauses in a sentence contains two tenses, past continuous and past simple, there's no need to put a comma, and the tense after when and should be past simple tense. And if you start with the conjunction, you have to put a comma between the two clauses, and the clause which followed the when should be in the past simple tense. Now we have some examples in your workbook. Section B, write the sentences about the past using the words in brackets. So each sentence here contains two clauses. You have to put one with the past continuous and the second one with past simple according to these conjunctions. So حسب أداة الربط هنستعمل الزمن المناسب directly after these conjunctions. Number 1, I think about you. I think about you, and then you ring me. Here we have the conjunction and. So the answer should be I was thinking about you and then you rang me. So after the conjunction and should be past simple tense. You rang, past of ring, rang. And the first clause should be in the past continuous. Was plus verb plus ing, was thinking. I was thinking. The second example, number 2, while Ali had a shower, somebody knocked at the front door. So we have the conjunction while. So the answer should be while Ali was having a shower, somebody knocked at the front door. While should be followed by past continuous. Past continuous was having. Somebody knocked, and the second clause should be in the past simple. And if we start with the conjunction, you have to put a comma between the two clauses. Number 3, I clean my room and I find money under my bed. I clean my room and the conjunction and. So the answer is I was cleaning my room and I found money under my bed. After the conjunction and, past simple. So I found, past of find, found. And the first clause should be in the past continuous. I was cleaning. Number 4, luckily Mona not drive very fast when the child ran into the road. The conjunction when. When and we've studied that when and as a conjunction should be followed by past simple. The answer is luckily Mona was not driving very fast when the child ran into the road. When the child ran, past simple, and the first one with the past continuous, because it's a negative form, we have to put not after the auxiliary. Was not driving. Was not driving. Number 5, a thief take our food while we fish. We have the conjunction while, and while, as you have studied, should be followed by past continuous. The answer is a thief took our food while we were fishing. While we were fishing. We were auxiliary verb according to the subject. Fishing, this is a past continuous because we have the conjunction while, and the first clause should be in the past simple. Took, past of take, took. Number 6. She tells us to be quiet as we make too much noise. The conjunction here is as, and as should be followed by past continuous. We have to put the auxiliary verb and put the verb in the present participle. The answer is, she told us to be quiet as we were making too much noise. As followed by past continuous and the first clause in the past simple tense. She told, past of tell, is an irregular verb, is told us to be quiet as we were making too much noise. Number 7. My sister hid my purse under the bed while I not look. Here's the conjunction while, and while should be followed by past continuous. My sister hid my purse under the bed while I not look. So we have past continuous in a negative form, not. The answer is, my sister hid, past of hide, hid, my purse under the bed while I was not looking. Past continuous form, and not should be after the auxiliary verb was, and the first clause should be in the past simple tense. The last one, as she carried the shopping from the car, my grandmother slipped and break her ankle. Slip and break. Here we have two verbs, and the conjunction as, which is at the beginning of the sentence. The answer is, as she was carrying, because the conjunction as should be followed the past continuous. As she was carrying the shopping from the car, my grandmother slipped and broke her ankle. Slipped and broke. You have to put these main verbs in the past simple form. And the first clause should be in the past continuous because of the conjunction as. And there's a comma between the two clauses when we start with the conjunction. And that's all for today. All the best with your studies. Your lecturer, Surul Kirzab.